Hello, everyone. Welcome to our fourth week. We are literally halfway done with the course. This past week, you turned in your first assignment where you were required to use APA citations and APA writing style and format. So the reason why this video is just slightly delayed getting out to you is because I wanted to grade some of your papers, look for some common themes that I am seeing and making note of, and then discuss those a little bit in this video as well as what we will be covering this week. So first and foremost, this week we will be covering Chapter 7 in your Baker text. So the topic is actually going to be leadership and collaboration in school counseling. One of the things that you will probably notice either at your site or at other school sites is that there is a common push for positive learning communities. And in those PLCs, we are actually seeing a lot more collaboration taking place. As you know, with the addition of the 21st century skills and the new state standards, collaboration is actually one of the C's that we are focusing upon. So as a result, counselors, even though all of these years they have been very used to collaborating, there's an extra push for additional collaboration as a result of the new state standards and the focus on those 21st century skills. As far as assignments for this week, you will be completing your discussion board as always, and you will also be turning in your child or adolescent practice interview. So once again, you will be using APA format for that. I highly suggest that you pay close attention to my comments prior to turning in that next assignment, because I'll want you to make sure and incorporate my feedback into this particular assignment. So let's talk a little bit about some of the common errors I'm seeing within your papers. First of all, I would like to address the fact that the papers that I have graded thus far have been very complete. You have done an excellent job addressing the prompts and answering all of the questions posed in the assignments. One of the first things, though, that I am noticing is that there are a lot of grammar issues. There are also sentence structure issues. And what I have found is that it just seems like many papers need to be reread and edited. One of the suggestions that I make, and I do this for myself, is if you can't have someone else read your paper for you and offer some feedback, read your paper out loud to yourself. A lot of times you can hear the mistakes. In a lot of the papers I'm reading so far, some of the sentences don't exactly make sense. And it's not because you do not know how to write effectively, it's just that you were probably getting tired and writing, and it's easier to make those mistakes. So I highly suggest writing your paper, taking a little break, coming back to it later, and then rereading it out loud to yourself, in addition to reading it to yourself silently, because a lot of times, again, we can hear those mistakes that we are making. Another error that I'm seeing is in the way of citations. Make sure that if you are referring, say, to an interview or to a court case, you need to cite that information. Unless the information came out of your head directly, we need to cite a source and give credit where credit is due. Now, the reason why I have this video on the share my screen mode is because I want to draw your attention to the APA Resources tab here in Blackboard. So in this tab are all of these wonderful resources that will help you with formatting your paper correctly. Now, what's nice about this is that the OWL at Purdue is actually a free online resource that gives you lots of information on how to create a references page with a list of how to, say, properly list and cite a book versus an interview versus a source, a website or a journal article, because all of those items are actually cited differently and listed in the references page in a specific format. So you need to pay close attention to that. Also, you need to pay close attention to how we format headings. in our papers. It's not just random. Some headings are in bold, some are centered, some are left justified. So you need to make sure and pay close attention to how to format different levels of headings. The other nice aspect about this particular tab in Blackboard is that there is an APA Basics tab here that you can click on, as well as some help with verbs. So one of the other things that I have noticed in your papers is that, again, your papers should consist of scholarly writing. And what we mean by that is that the tone should be rather formal. Even though this was a reflective piece, what we're doing is we are introducing you to scholarly writing. And in scholarly writing, the tone is much more formal. So in other words, you should not be starting sentences with so. You should not be including contractions such as don't or can't. It's do not, cannot. The other aspect that's important to remember is that you want to avoid using pronouns as much as possible or vague generalities as much as possible. So I'm reading things like it should be done properly. What's it? To what are you referring in this situation? If you say something along the lines of everyone should be aware of what's happened, well, obviously you don't mean everyone. Be specific. Who do you mean when you are talking about everyone? Because obviously we have A, it's impossible to let everyone know something, and B, due to confidentiality issues, we wouldn't share all information with everyone. So we want to avoid terms such as all or everyone or never, because there are very few cases that are all-encompassing if we're using terms such as that. So formal tone is very important, avoiding the use of contractions, and then again, following APA format. So please let me know if you have any questions. Also, with regard to your scores on the paper, please do not get frustrated if you did not receive full credit. This is a learning process. There are lots of points in this class. You'll notice that if you did lose a couple of points here or there, it's not going to hurt your grade. What I do is that I want you to pay close attention to my feedback. Automatically issuing full credit for an assignment means there's no room for improvement, and there are very few cases in which we cannot improve. So don't get discouraged. It's definitely possible to still earn an A in the course. It's just that we have a little fine-tuning to do. So great job, everyone. Keep up the great work, and let me know if you have any questions.